Nigeria, a vibrant tapestry of places, people, stories, struggles, and unshakable spirits. Politicians make promises, but who really holds them accountable? I'm Tony Kubara, and this isn't just about politics. This is about us. This is where we confront the hard truths that few say publicly. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nigeria Unfiltered. I should say Happy Independence Day, except that I'm not happy, and nor are most of the inhabitants of Donu's world. And by inhabitants, I mean the people I bump into in Abuja, people who come and do things like manicure, pedicure, people who sell me fabric, people I just encounter in my day-to-day life, as well as, people with whom I'm intimately connected like friends and family, not just here in Abuja, of course, but also in my home state, which is Rivers, people in Port Harcourt, people in my village, Bodo in Ogoniland, people in Lagos. So there are always exceptions to every rule. And I do have a handful of what I would call elite entrepreneur friends who assure me that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is actually on the right track. Some of them say that some of Tinubu's reforms are beginning to take root and yield results. And well, they're not all entrepreneurs, but they're all somehow, in pretty privileged positions. So I can't help thinking that they see life differently from most normal people. And I am no expert, even though I'm not an economics expert, even though I actually went to the London School of Economics. So I don't want to argue with them because all this talk about interest rates and money supply and blah, blah, and petroleum pump price, quite honestly, not my cup of tea, not my area of serious knowledge. So what I tend to do is, from time to time, I'll ask a regular person what an elite person who supports Tinubu thinks. And so honestly, the reaction is hardly ever positive. Sometimes you feel that they want to give you a dirty slap because you're living in some kind of fantasy world. If you can really have the audacity to ask them if they think that things are getting better. Because what they know is that they can barely cope with the cost of living, or they are suffering from weak, they're battling with weak infrastructure. And let's talk about security problems, which are pretty acute. Yesterday, the press and social media were full of terrible, terrible stories. The most outstanding being that some Tochukwu or Somi, the Arise TV journalist, panicked during a home invasion of the apartment block she lived in and jumped to her death to try and escape the armed robbers, who apparently also shot the security guard. And by the time she made it to hospital, she was practically gone. The hospital did not help at all. In fact, they were downright obstructive. But I don't want to go too much into the aspect now. We'll talk about Nigerian healthcare systems and the behavior of healthcare professionals at a later date. But the point being that Tommy is gone. And same week, about, several young ladies who had been recently called to the bar were attacked in a bus on the way to somewhere like Okene. I think they were kidnapped. And we recently heard about an SUV being stolen from inside the police headquarters compound. And we constantly, in fact, I think there's quite a lot of suppression of bad news around security in this country, because people who live in places like where there are mining activities go on tell me that it's just constant. You don't see or hear everything that goes on in terms of criminal activity and insecurity. But people are dying all the time in this country. Terrorism is still an issue. And what I want to know is, I don't want to target President Tinubu particularly on this security issue, because actually we've been having this thing going on for years. It was under Jonathan that some 200 or 300 schoolgirls were snatched and taken away, and they still haven't been recovered. So those girls from the Chibok school, well, some have been retrieved, but some are gone forever and have even been turned into wives and mothers by those disgusting terrorists who snatched them. Just the thought. I mean, as a woman, I don't even want to think about it. And I'm pretty sure that that thought is what motivated Somi to jump over her balcony to her death. Because when these ruffians can't get hold of a young woman, only God knows what they can do to her. Sometimes, I mean, my opinion, anyway, look, let me not just say that death is worse than rape, but so there's a kind of like, there's been an ongoing crisis around personal safety in this country and community safety for years. Tinubu is just one in a long line of presidents who has failed to solve the problem. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that things are possibly even a little bit better now than they have been. They were under Buhari and Jonathan. But who knows? All I know is that my cousin died. He's been buried in Anambra State this weekend, and I'm too scared to get in a car and drive to his village for the burial. Even if I was to fly to Oka or Asaba and take a car, I was only willing to go if I could be part of an armed convoy. And unfortunately, that option was not available to me. So I'm not going to the funeral. But, you know, there's just, mind you, I am a kidnap victim. I mean, I was kidnapped in 2015. And so I'm probably more paranoid than most people on this issue. But a lot of people tell me that they don't go to burials outside major cities anymore. They don't. There's so many things. Nigerians are actually constrained by the fact that life is dangerous here. And if you talk truth about such matters, you have someone like our senior in the media industry, Bayo Onanuga, who is the president's main man around talking. He will jump up and say you're demarketing Nigeria. But truth is truth. Anyway, so may Somi rest in peace, and all the other people who have died today, because mark my words, several people will have died. You just may not hear about it. Let us also say prayers for the many children who go to bed hungry every night in this country. A land that should be full of bounty and milk and honey. It's just sort of like dead and painful for so many people. You know, I'm actually the same age as Nigeria. I'm 65. Nigeria is 65. This country should be a haven I'm looking forward to retiring in. But it's not. Instead, my friends and I, well, not all of my friends, but quite a few, are asking whether we should try and go back to the UK where we came from, or America. Some of us are even considering other African countries that we don't even know that well, like Sierra Leone or Namibia or South Africa. It's very unfortunate that a place that has so much potential does not seem like a place that can offer us the level of happiness, prosperity, and safety that we yearn for. So, Nigeria is my age mate. Neither of us is doing too well. I'm on my way out, but Nigeria should be on its way up. So, happy Independence Day? I don't think so.